Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. The first thing that defines what freedom is in yoga is the absence of the consequences of facing obstacles and the avoidance of actions that have disturbing or distracting qualities to them. Because when you confront your own ignorance, and if you could destroy it, then the self would be liberated. Liberated from the identification with the world where you suffer. So that is the main thing that yoga is pointing you towards, and that's called enlightenment. Now, when you get initiated into yoga, there's no guarantee, there's no assurance of reaching the final goal. But the story is so enthralling that it makes you willing to commit, even though it seems there's no end in sight. Like the Zen master says, when you've been on the journey so long that the end seems further and further away, then you know that the journey is everything and the goal is nothing. So destroy and cut your attachment, die to the worldly life. And that doesn't mean that you don't enjoy pizza and laughing with your friends anymore. It means that the false values, the things that would have you sell yourself out to the man, the consumer overproductive quality that's always seeking to be up and ascending and winning, that's the part that's false. So you drop out of all those unloving roles, all those ways of acting and thinking that are committed to keeping the status quo, and you develop something new. And the first thing you learn is that pain is a guru that comes to guide you, not something to necessarily be avoided, although it doesn't feel nice. Once you realize your brokenness can't be fixed, but it can be blessed. And when you realize that, then you see that kindness can only be expected from the strong and cruelty from the weak. So the people who are cruel, you know that they haven't had their brokenness blessed. And in yoga, you do it by doing body work, by doing breath work, by doing meditation, by using imagery in the form of affirmations, which is just nothing but a positive interpretation, a positive spin on everything. And then, of course, becoming a peace advocate, a goodwill ambassador. It's a leap of faith in a world where there's so much turmoil, to bring that lover, the part of you that is willing to appreciate what there is to appreciate, and then celebrate the stuff that you do appreciate, and then commiserate. Really feel with compassion how so many people are in exile and suffering, and if there's anything you can do to ameliorate it, you jump to it. No sense in asking how did we get so alienated and estrangement. Mythologically, it's when the king and queen are asleep in the throne room that the monsters roam the realm. So what's the part of you that's given up making choices for the good, for the greater good? For me, I think it's like a combination of science, education, and religion. They've all split the body and mind into a dualism that doesn't really exist and pits the organism against the environment. So when you understand this, you got to deal with your aggression. You got to deal with your ignorance, because belligerence doesn't convince anybody. You have to embody. If you really want to glorify the spirit, you have to embody it. We used to say in the hippie days, my mother hates me when I talk about the Buddha, but she loves me when I am the Buddha. So, as the teachings remind you, I come that you may have life more abundantly. So I hope that your own practice and your own delving into the whys and wherefores of your life bring you to seeing spirit as it is within you, within every person, within everything in the world. Because if you don't see the extraordinary in what's extraordinary, you'll never be a mystic. Last thing I want to share with you today is all the teachings I've gotten from the masters of motivation, the people who've taught me about goal setting. And in yoga, it's called sankalpa, setting an intention that's really intense and that you're going to follow through, so the likelihood of making it happen is very great. First, realize that you can be adept at citing your own achievements and successes instead of your flaws and failures. You observe, you imitate, and you repeat. Then you internalize the knowledge, and that you make it into promoting, not demoting habits in your life. You invest your time and your effort in developing your skills to train yourself in the area of whatever form or art is the one that tweaks you, where your passion is, and then you take pride in your efforts on a daily basis, not every now and then. Each day, You learn to do what you set out to do, and then by the end of the day, you can go to sleep and say, I believe in my own self-worth, and I advance my performance in whatever it is that I'm committed to, and so I really walk my talk.